What's up? What's up, y'all? I hope y'all having a good night. So, I know you see the title of this video. Jason Aldean's Try That in a Small Town drops on the Billboard after the Montgomery Brawl. So, if you didn't know, a while back, Jason Aldean, and I didn't even know who he was before he dropped this song. But Jason Aldean, he dropped a song called Try This in a Small Town. And it caused a lot of controversy because people were saying, hey, this song is racist, and rightfully so. And I am about to get into that. And there is a group of people that are ignorant to why it is racist. So um we're gonna get straight to that, and we're going to I'm going to do a review of a lady that grew up in the Sundown Town, breaking down what this song meant. And she's breaking down the video, she's breaking down the lyrics, she's breaking down all of that, right? And if you don't know what a Sundown Town is, a Sundown Town is a racist town where basically black people are not allowed. And when people think of Sundown Towns, they think of the South. But the thing is, most of the Sundown Towns are in the Midwest area, if you don't know. A lot of people, when they think about racism and white supremacy, they think of the South. But people don't talk about the racism in the Midwest. So if you don't know, um, I grew up my early childhood in St. Louis, Missouri, which St. Louis, Missouri is considered to be one of the most segregated cities, along with Chicago as well. That's also in the Midwest. But St. Louis is considered to be one of the most segregated cities. Now, um, in my middle school years, and don't get me wrong, I was born in St. Louis, and I grew up my early childhood in St. Louis. But in my middle school years, and I ended up moving to Southern Illinois. So when people think of Illinois, they think of just Chicago, right? But Illinois is way bigger than just Chicago. And the port that I lived in Illinois is Southern Illinois, right? And I'm currently living in the greater metro St. Louis area of Illinois. But where I grew up at was Southern Illinois during my later years, my later teenage years, from middle school to high school. This is where I grew up at. My mama was originally from there. It's a rural area, but there was a lot of sundown towns in that area. Um, one of the sundown towns, one of the infamous sundown towns, Anna, ain't no niggas allowed. I stayed about 20 minutes from there. And we actually used to go there all the time. I had my eye doctor over there. It's not the same no more, and I'm not saying this is not any racism. There is most definitely still racism there, but it's not like it used to be. But you have other sundown towns, besides Anna, and that's one of the big sundown towns. Anna, like I said, ain't no niggas allowed. And then you have places like Benton, um Goreville. So I stayed about like 20 or 30 minutes away from all these places. And this is Southern Illinois. This is not near Chicago. This is like 6 hours away from Chicago, right? It's like 6 hours away from Chicago. So I'm familiar with Sundown Towns, and they have them in Missouri as well. So they have them across Missouri. They have Sundown Towns as well. And living in Southern Illinois, if you don't know, Southern Illinois is, I'll say, about like 10 or 15 minutes away from Missouri and 10 to 15 minutes away from Kentucky. So you can cross a bridge from Southern Illinois through Cairo and get through Missouri. You can also get through Kentucky as well. You can get to Kentucky as well. And it's a lot of hit sundown towns within that area. Now, the area that I grew up in, it was predominantly black. The school I went to was predominantly black. It was a predominantly black school, but within that area, there's a lot of sundown towns. So, I know how this works, right? And I also know Carol. I also talked about that as well. They have a lot of history as far as like the racism goes in Cairo. And I actually did like a small piece on the Cairo riots. I interviewed Uncle Jay. He kind of spoke a little bit about it. But yeah, that's the area I grew up in during my later childhood. As far as my high school years, my middle school years. I grew up in a rural town called Pulaski, and that's actually where my mama was from. My pops, he was from the St. Louis area, and I'm currently staying in the greater St. Louis area, basically across the bridge on the Illinois side. So anything on the Illinois side, they call it the East Side. But the actual city of St. Louis is in Missouri. If y'all did not know that, but yeah, so I'm very familiar with Sundown Towns. I'm very familiar with the racism here in the Midwest. I'm very familiar because I actually experienced it. I actually see it. And the thing is, as far as like the Southern Illinois side, right? They may not be as avert with it, but what they'll lock you out of the opportunities. And they'll do things behind closed doors. Like a few years back, I literally seen to where it was leaked pictures of a Klan rally in Benton, Illinois. This, like I said, it's about like 20, 30 minutes away from where I used to live at, if y'all did not know. So I'm very familiar with it. So um a lot of people, especially a lot of black people, were ignorant to the Jason's Aldean's lingo in the song, and they was thinking like, well, I don't see what's so racist about it. He ain't mentioned no race. Um, he ain't exactly come out and say it, but what he was doing was sending dog whistles. And the lady who grew up in a sundown town actually breaks this down. So I'm gonna show this for y'all. So give me one second. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. So of course, one of my favorite sources is TikTok because you can find stuff that you can't find anywhere else. But let's get to it. Let's break this down real quick.
If you grew up next to a sundown town and you look like me, you know more about the song lyrics try that in a small town, then you are probably admitting to. So let's talk about it. And I'm going to go by part so we don't miss anything.
So you heard her. Hey, you heard this. She was like, "Hey, you know more about that song than what y'all claim to say. Y'all want to say it's not a racist song, but y'all know exactly what the lyrics mean in this song. That's exactly what she's saying, and shout out to her for sharing this information so we can break this down.
Anything. So let's just talk about the first four lines of that song that end with "act a fool." Now, let's not be enacting stupid. Let's not pretend that the line "act a fool" at the end of that stanza or whatever you want to call it at the top of that song isn't referencing all the actions that came prior to the sentence "act a fool." And let's not pretend that "act a fool" was just chosen verbiage. It was on purpose. Now let's talk about "make it down the road." So, when you live near or know about a sundown town, making it down a road and crossing a line is very particular language. See, when you're in a sundown town and you're talking about people of color, you run them out of your town down that road to the city limits. They're talking about a line and a road.
So and I don't know if I explained this or not, but basically, yeah, Sundown Town is a town, um, mainly small towns where black people are not allowed it. Um, and this has been going on since way before I was born. I mean, before the civil rights movements, and it's still going on to this day. So, I mean, there's a long history of this, to where there is towns that are white supremacist enclaves that black people are not allowed. So if you end up in this town, basically they'll chase you out. They'll let you know, hey, you're not welcome here. You got a certain amount of time to get up out of here, or hey, it's a wrap for you. That's what a sundown town is. And I don't know if you watch Love Craft Country or not, but take a look at that television show. I know it's been canceled, or it wasn't renewed for a second season. But take a look at that show, and that will give you a good idea of what a sundown town is. They actually used to have sirens to let the other people in the town know whenever a black person is inside their town. And if you take a look at Lovecraft Country, they basically um, got the police officers, they got everybody in that town, and they chased them out that town. And they had a whole sirens and everything just to notify the town whenever a black person would arrive. So that's um that's basically what a sundown town is. So let me continue to finish playing this.
And to not cross it. And I recommend you don't try it. I recommend you don't try crossing that line, that city limit in a small town. It's not just that they're talking about, I recommend you not acting in those behaviors. They're recommending you not crossing that city line, that county line, whatever it is. He then references good old boys. This is
Right. So they recommend you not to even come in that town at all. So it's not about no criminals robbing places or doing criminal activity. It's telling black people not to come in their towns at all. Like we don't even want to see you because if you come into our towns, these are the consequences that you're going to pay if we see you. So it's nothing about being righteous or stopping criminals or um s- stopping protests. It's nothing about that, man. It's basically a dog whistle to these white supremacists. In these sundown towns and these white supremacist enclaves to basically hype their head up.
This is a very particular term. Good old boys reference white men. Period. End of story. So, what this song is actually saying is if you come down the road, if you cross that city limit of our town, and you would only know this if you knew white people that lived near or in a sundown town, because you need to know that language to understand what this song is actually saying. I remember the sundown town that I lived next to. They used to joke about the fact that there would be an alarm that would go off every night at 6 o'clock in the town.
See, the alarm going off every night at 6 o'clock in the town. Exactly, like on Lovecraft Country, Sundown Towns. They actually had alarms, and it's still going on till this day. There is a lot of sundown towns, and like I said before, when people think of racism, they think of the South, but the Midwest area, they have the most sundown towns. If you don't know, the Midwest area, is very segregated. Like I said, St. Louis and Chicago are some of the most segregated cities. I have people who come to St. Louis and they be like, it's nothing but white people over here. Where are all the black people? And I be telling them like, hey, St. Louis is a very segregated city. So if you come here and they might be out in South County somewhere or maybe West County somewhere. For the most part, if you come here for like some type of job or something, or some type of internship, yes, you're only going to see mostly white people because St. Louis is a segregated city. The white people they stay more in the South County area. Now you do have your mixture. I say the most place where you have like a mixture is like the South City area. You have black and white people. I know when I was growing up, there was a decent population of black people in the South City area. Now, the more you go up north in St. Louis, it's different from Chicago, but the more you go up north, say North City, the West Side, that's mostly where the black people were in North County. There's is mostly black people there as well. So yeah, yeah. But let me get back to it.
And that alarm meant that all black people better be out of the town by 6 o'clock. Like you need to be down the road and over city lines before.
You heard her. Down the road and over city lines by 6 o'clock. Now, a lot of black people actually had jobs in these sundown towns, but the thing is, they better be out of there by a certain time. They better not be in that town by a certain time, or they would get hung or killed or whatever the case may be. But it wasn't safe for them. I'll say that.
6 o'clock because you knew. And if you're too young or don't live within proximity or you don't understand and people that are white haven't told you this or your grandparents haven't told you this or whatever, then you don't know that this song is actually as racist as it is. Because I promise you, it is. If you grew up next.
And I'm glad she broke that down. So the song is very racist. So he was like, I don't mention race at all. I don't do any of this. But What they'll do is use coded language. And that's exactly what he did. He used coded language. Um, he used coded language, and she basically spilled all the beans and said, "Hey, hey, this is a racist song. This is what they use to describe a sundown town." And he's basically saying, "Hey, you better not cross this line, or you know what's gonna happen." That's basically what he was saying. But the thing is, in 2023, we ain't having that. It's 2023. So after that Montgomery Brawl, because that song empowered a lot of white supremacists, and I'm not putting all white people in the same category or anything. That's why I said white supremacists. Um, you're bigots, you're racist white people. I'm not putting y'all out in the same category, but yeah, that basically emboldened them, made them feel some type of way, and they been feeling salty after that Montgomery boat brawl, because they tried it, and they got exactly what they was looking for. They seen that we not here to play. Um, Black people, listen, we got a lot of anger built up, and for the most part, we don't start stuff like that. But when it comes time, we finna come with it. We finna come with it. Like I said, I'm not condoning violence or anything, or starting anything with anybody. I don't care what race they are. Like I said, if you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. But the thing is, like, y'all gotta know we not having that. And I don't like to use that saying we not our ancestors, because the thing is, they like to share the narrative that everybody back in the civil rights movement was non-violent. But there was a lot of people back in the 60s and 70s um that was not going for that. They wasn't. Hold up. Okay. All right. I'm back, y'all. So yeah, I don't like to use that a lot, but yeah. So as you can see, I'm gonna share this with y'all as well, just so you can see this article. Um, as you can see, everyone's already lost interest in Jason's Aldean's trial there in a small town. After a week at number one, the controversial song plummeted 20 spots on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. So they trying to make it seem, and it says the devoted culture warriors dedicated to talking Jason's Aldeans tried that in a small town to the top of the charts appear to have already gone board of the song, as it plummeted from the number one spot to number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart this week. Last week, the song topped Hot 100 7 months after the initial release in April, and following the arrival of controversial music videos that critics from the country music world to academia said promoted white nationalism and painted protest racial injustice as lawless and violent. TMT even pulled a video from its airways, and portions of the video featuring protests in Atlanta were later edited out the footage from Canada. As these things tend to go, the backlash to try that in a small town inspired a backlash of its own, which conservatives are DN fans streaming and buying this song in droves in a time honored offer to the track's chart position. So what they trying to do? They trying to make it seem like the sales plummeted or the its numbers on the chart plummeted because of its controversy. But actually, that's what made it rose to the number one spot on the charts. So it didn't plummet because of that. I most definitely believe that it plummeted because of that Montgomery Brawl. After they seen that we wasn't playing and we was coming with their energy, they said, you know what, man, this dude done hyped our heads up. This dude done lied to us. He done influenced us to go out and try these people, and then we done got toe up. Ever since then, like, nah, you know what? Nah, I'm done with it. We not doing this. Like, this dude done hyped our head up, and we done straight up took a L, which is right, man. You know, the song is hyping y'all head up, and y'all thinking it is really sweet out here, and y'all feel entitled. All y'all had to do is just follow the, all y'all had to do was listen, but y'all feel so entitled that y'all think y'all above the law. And when it's implemented on y'all, then y'all feel some type of way. So yeah. So they got people feeling some type of way, right? So let me go ahead and end this. So yeah, after that boat brawl, people was like, man, shit, this dude just hyping our head up, man. And as you can see, that song done plummeted. And the thing is, the white supremacists are taking the L right now. And that's why I say white supremacists. I'm specifying. I didn't say all white people, but they taking the L right now because, as you can see, especially the right wingers, right? As you can see, Trump. I mean, he's been being indicted for what 46 different counts. DeSantis is taking a big L in his campaign, which I'm going to do another video talking about that separately. And the right wing white supremacists is just taking big L's, and just the Western world in general is taking big L's. I mean, look at the stuff that's going on in Africa with BRICS. They not playing. They not playing. But like I said, I'm gonna do separate videos on those. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation. Do y'all think it was from the Montgomery Brawl? Or do you think it was because the song was controversial? Because at first the song rose to the top because it was controversial. So it seems like after this incident broke out, it just plummeted from there. So y'all let me know what y'all think on this subject. Peace.